Hi everyone, Transformers Fan 5000 here. So we are today doing the director's commentary for New Recruit. This is a story that I've wanted to tell for quite a long time actually. I know sometimes when you make a story, the general idea can change over time, but this is a story that I've always sort of kept the same, the general idea that I wanted to tell, how it was going to go. Everything was how I originally wanted it, and between Dawn of Corruption Part 1 and 2, it's pretty much a direct sequel from Dawn of Corruption Part 1 to Part 2, but there was always that gap with Sideswipe when he arrived to Earth, and, how did Starcade escape after being captured by Ultra Magnus, Brawn, Flak and Rollbar, with Lionheart and Elafunga. And then Starcade was suddenly sort of back in the Nemesis, how did that happen? And this is a story that tells you how that happens, and I'm really happy with how it came out. And they're in the Nevada desert right here. It was a unique way of filming, so I basically filmed on a sheet of card, and I thought that would make it easier having a similar sort of colour of card to the ground, and it wasn't the easiest, to be honest. It was quite difficult to get the shade of colour the same, and I had to do some colour correction in post-production, and it was a pain. It was very difficult, but I think I'm happy with how it came out in the end. I was almost close to giving up with it, but I'm glad I didn't. I put some extra work in, got it as best as I could, and there's still some shots where you can tell it's, they're standing on paper, but you get the general idea of the shot, and I'm really glad with the cloud movement. So we see different angles, so we see from the back of Brawn, the front of Brawn and Magnus, the sides, and each time the cloud is moving in the correct direction, whether it's left or right, or getting bigger or getting smaller, further away. Whichever angle you look from, the cloud's moving in the same direction. And yeah, I'm really glad how this overall scene came together. We've got the pod in the background of Sideswipe that's exploded, and yeah. Originally, we had two different takes of Sideswipe line when he says, "Hey, don't shoot at your own butt." We had another one where Sideswipe was going to say, "Now, is that any way to greet an old friend?" So, yeah, two different takes for that line. I was going to use them both, but it turned out, better the way it came out. I didn't want to use two. It didn't seem right when I put them both together, but yeah, here we see Sideswipe getting his first introduction to Nest. Originally, Ultra Magnus was actually going to say, "I've summoned a Nest cleanup crew," but there was some sort of behind the scenes with that. I don't think the voice actor could re-record, so we just had, "I've summoned a cleanup crew," and stuff like that. But I'm really glad I got D. Barry Audio as Bumblebee, so he's the radio voice, and I think it'll turn out pretty good. D. Barry Audio was a DJ, previously, so he's perfect for this. And it's really great to have the Dawn of Corruption crew back together. Not necessarily the voice actors, because sadly, some of the voice actors from Dawn of Corruption moved on and left. But the actual figures, these are all Dawn of Corruption figures, so it's nice to actually have the old original gang back together, because, I switch figures around sometimes. I've switched the Sideswipe and the Bumblebee around. I've switched Starscream around. Megatron obviously has changed, but these are all the same figures that were in Dawn of Corruption trilogy, so it's nice to have them, back together. And yeah, it took a while to get this out. I filmed it about a year ago, but just last year was hard, so I didn't really get much done on the channel, but I'm glad I've got this out finally. It's a nice, I don't want to call it filler, because it's not a filler episode. It has a purpose, but it's a nice gap. It's a nice thing that fills the gap between part 1 and 2 of Dawn of Corruption. So yeah, and my expanded universe, I'm not trying to make filler content. I never tried to make scenes where it's just filler. Because, what's the point of putting all the hard work into it? Each expanded universe, it's to tell a story. It's to tell a character's story and progress events, and give additional information on stories, so it serves an overall purpose. Of course, you have the main series like Dawn of Corruption Part 1, 2, 3, which are Season 1 to 3. End of Days, which is Season 4. Then you've got obviously Season 5, 6, 7, and so on that's going to come out. So that's the main timeline, but obviously you've got the expanded universes there for extra, more content, which I really like. And this is really, you know, Braun advising Ultra Magnus, you know, Sideswipe isn't experienced in restraining prisoners, and that's why Braun and Sideswipe start arguing at the start of Dawn of Corruption Part 2, and, you know, Braun basically says to Magnus, I told you was the wrong bot for the job. It was really strange voicing Starcade again, and this shot right here, I really love this shot. Boom. And then he runs and gets electrocuted. I really love that. And then this next shot coming up in a minute. Obviously we have Stockade pretending he's this shot here. I love this shot. But we see Sideswipe backing away and flinching when Stockade's faking his punches. You know, we can definitely see who is stronger and more dominant out of the two. And Sideswipe doesn't have his guard up. He's just got his arms down because he doesn't know what to do and just gets knocked straight down. I'm really proud of the motion blur that I did on these shots too. But yeah, Sideswipe is definitely not as experienced as Starcade. Starcade is definitely aggressive. I always sort of see Starcade as a gangster. You know, he even stands up to Megatron in Dawn of Corruption, which is something that no one else really does. And this shot coming up in a moment, this is one of my favourite shots I've ever done. It's a bit gruesome. Look away if you're sensitive to blood, but my gosh, this shot right here. Wait for it. Boom, boom. And then we see Clifford D. Deadman in bottom right corner there. And also we have our first sort of appearance of Steve in... Well, not really first appearance because he's shown up against... she's shown up against the Autobots in 1518 Days Without an Accident. But obviously we see him for the first time in a while in this. Even though it's just over the radio. Comlink. But I can't tell you how many times I replayed that shot where Starcade smashes through the wall. I'm really proud of that. All of these shots really in this episode, I'm really proud of all of them. And yeah, I think I did a really, really good job. And if you pay close attention, you can hear the river in the background. You know, Sideswipe's sort of on a bridge right now. You see the railings there, and you know. You can hear the water of the river in the background, and as we go up to the clouds, the sound of the river sort of fades out a little bit. And obviously this is the main base, nest base, but we have loads all over the world, so I can really customize each base to how I want it to look. And of course, with Expanded Universes, I try and make the credits a little bit unique in each one. So it's gone from the ground to the sky, and then it fades to space, and eventually when we actually get up to the top of the screen we see the Nemesis, and that's basically where Starcade's teleported to. So Soundwave has, well, Steve transferred Starcade to Soundwave, and then Starcade was space bridged up to the Nemesis, which is, well, we'll see in a minute. And the Nemesis picture is actually the Nemesis from the End of Days poster. I had no equipment set up, but I did have a picture of the Nemesis from the poster I made for End of Days. So I used the same picture of the Nemesis there, which, you know, it's fine, it works, and the lighting's actually quite good. It looks like the sun's reflecting off the metallic surface. But no, I'm really proud of this episode. It's short, but it's sweet. And yeah, I tried to get out in January, but I just got distracted sometimes, and I really tried to put the effort in, but I just couldn't get it done in time. But yeah, it's generally a nice gap filler that again, it's not a gap filler, but it fills the gap between Dawn of Corruption Part 1 and 2, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. Obviously, we see the Nemesis right there. So, yeah. Who knows how many Decepticons are inside there. and then we just have a quick fade to black. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this director's commentary. There's not that much, to be honest, that I need to discuss on this one. I think the episode speaks for itself. You know, there's not much going on. It's simple. But, you know, all the time I like to do these commentaries just to give my opinion on the overall production and talk about, you know, what went well, what didn't go well, and a little background information. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode overall, and if you have any questions or anything like that about the actual episode or the production, just let me know and comment below and let me know. Yeah, I'll be happy to try and answer them either by replying, or if I get enough questions, might even do a video answering them. But yeah, if you guys and girls and Autobots, Decepticons, if you all would like to join my Discord, the link is in the description box below. And follow me on Instagram at TFFan5000. Don't forget to do all the general stuff, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my other stop motions, and just stay awesome. I hope you've had a good new year so far, and I really hope you enjoy stop motion and stay tuned for upcoming stop motions. But that's all I have to say in this director's commentary, so thank you for joining me, and till all are one.